During the Liberian Civil War, things happened that are hard to believe. Some armed groups actually practiced cannibalism. Witnesses told how fighters ate the organs of their enemies, believing it gave them strength. The liver was eaten most often, fresh, fried, or raw. One of the well-known field commanders even admitted publicly that he took part in such rituals. And this was not in the Stone Age, but in the early 2000s. After the war, some fighters returned to normal life, but the legends remained. Those who lived through that time still cannot speak about it calmly.
Today I have a simple lunch. It's almost boring, considering that in Thailand I ate larvae and caterpillars. But you know what? Even though I don't miss locusts and cockroaches, that's not even the strangest thing people eat around the world. In the next 10 minutes, you'll learn about dishes so extreme that even spiders will seem like candy afterwards. Oh, a tasty treat has arrived.
In some regions of Central Africa, monkey meat is not considered exotic. It is grilled, boiled, sold at markets like chicken or beef. But what frightens most is something else. The brain of a monkey. It is eaten fried or almost raw, with the belief it carries special power. These customs are extremely dangerous. Deadly viruses, including Ebola, can spread from primates. Despite bans, hunting continues, as it is a source of food and money. In remote villages, it is still treated as a delicacy, especially among the elderly. The paradox is that something that could cause a new pandemic is eaten by hand without fear, as a tradition from childhood. In the jungles of the Amazon, there are tribes for whom death is not the end, but a passage. After cremation, the body is turned into ashes, then mixed with banana puree and eaten. This ritual was seen as a way to return the soul back to the community. It is not fantasy, but a documented practice among tribes living in remote areas. Today, such rituals have almost disappeared, but until recently, they were performed openly. There is no aggression or savagery in this, only belief, and while the outside world sees it as shocking, for them it is an act of love. The ashes of relatives turned into food, eaten by the whole family. On some markets in Asia, dog meat can still be bought like an ordinary product. Despite bans, it remains part of culture, especially for the older generation. It's boiled into soup, grilled as skewers, or canned. In certain countries, this is a seasonal tradition, especially in summer when the meat is believed to increase body heat. Volunteers try to save animals, they protest, but demand does not fall. Markets operate semi-legally. The laws exist, but nobody enforces them. The most disturbing part is that for locals, it's a normal dish. They eat it with garlic, noodles, and spices. For a tourist, it's a nightmare on a plate. In poor districts of the Middle East, there are stalls that serve cheap meat flatbread. But the source of the meat is a mystery. There have been documented cases where stray cats were used instead of beef. The switch is hidden under spices and strong roasting. Officially, no one admits it, but former workers and veterinarians have shared shocking facts. In poverty and shortage, the main rule is not to ask. The customer gets a filling meal, but what exactly ends up inside is less important. It is nameless food, with the taste of mint and spices hiding who knows what. On the streets of some Asian and African countries, rats are roasted right on the coals. They are sold as snacks, crispy, with sauce, or just salt. Mostly, these are field rats, not the ones living in cities. They are caught in rice fields, gutted, cleaned, and skewered. The dish is cheap and accessible, especially for those on the edge of poverty. Locals say it tastes like chicken, but tourists feel sick at the sight. In countries where meat is a luxury, a rat becomes normal. For those born into such conditions, it is not desperation but daily life, without decorations. In Southeast Asia, you can still find markets selling fried bats. They are eaten whole, with wings, skin, even teeth. This dish is seen as strengthening and said to help with breathing illnesses. Yet bats carry deadly viruses, including Ebola and coronavirus. After the pandemic, demand fell, but it did not disappear. For many, it is the taste of childhood, familiar and even loved. Bats are sold wrapped in paper with pepper and lemon. No one thinks about the risk. What matters is that it is filling, hot, and spicy. After that, it depends on luck.
When true hunger begins, food stops being food. During crises and blockades, including in North Korea, people boiled soup from leather boots. They used old shoes, belts, or bags, boiled them in water, added salt and roots if they had any. This meal was eaten for weeks. Officially, authorities never admit the scale of famine, but refugees told such recipes. It is not fiction, but a documented reality. When there is nothing to eat, taste does not matter. People eat anything that at least looks like meat, even what you wore yesterday on your feet. The stomach suffers later, but there is no choice. At many makeshift markets and unstable economies, you can buy something with meat without any name. The menu has no labels, only a price and the smell of spices. The seller smiles but does not say what is in the bowl. Sometimes it may be dog, cat, rat, or a mix of all. In poverty and shortage, meat is just meat. The main thing is that it gives protein and fills the stomach. There were cases where under the label of beef, absolutely anything was sold. People eat and do not ask. Those who ask leave hungry. In this world, labels do not matter. Only taste and the habit of not thinking matter. In the street markets of Southeast Asia, there is a dish that can stop even seasoned travelers. It is an egg with an almost fully formed duckling inside, with beak, feathers, and bones. It is boiled right in the shell and served hot. Locals eat it with salt, vinegar, and greens. They say it is healthy, nutritious, even an aphrodisiac. The dish is popular among men. For foreigners, it is a shock. You crack the shell and there is not just an egg, but a real creature. Tradition, yes, but for most people it feels like both a challenge and a trial. In some countries of Africa and Asia, fried spiders, cockroaches, and beetles are not exotic, but street snacks. In Cambodia, tarantulas are collected by hand, marinated in garlic, and fried until crispy. In Uganda, grasshoppers are caught at night by the bucket and sold by weight. Insects are served with spices like chips. They are cheap and full of protein. For local children, a treat. For tourists, a reason to run away. Some say this could be the future of global food. But for those raised in dust and heat, it is not a trend, it is dinner. Hot, sizzling, once alive before cooking. In Japan, fugu is both a delicacy and a deadly threat on one plate. Its organs contain tetrodotoxin, a poison 1,000 times stronger than cyanide. A chef's mistake can cost a life. Only licensed masters are allowed to prepare it. Even with them, the risk remains. Fugu dinners are banned in many countries, but in Japan, it's a symbol of prestige. Eating fugu means trusting the chef like a surgeon, and praying that after dinner you simply fall asleep, and not forever. In Alaska, indigenous people have their own ice cream, Akutaq, but instead of cream, it contains animal fat, fish, and berries. Sometimes bone marrow or walrus fat is added. Everything is whipped into a cold paste. Sweet, more like salty. This is survival food, heavy, calorie-rich, but warming. Children eat it from early age. For tourists, it is a strange, fatty dessert. For locals, a symbol of tradition that cannot be judged through pizza and soda. Here, food is armor against cold. In Greenland, Inuit tribes for centuries have eaten kiviak, a dish that shocks even experienced travelers. Hundreds of small birds are stuffed inside a seal carcass, the air is pressed out, and it is left to ferment for months. In winter, it is taken out and eaten with feathers, skin, and guts. The smell is rotten, the taste is salty and fatty. Kiviak is eaten at festivals and is considered medicine against cold. And most importantly, it is a way to preserve food without a fridge in a land of eternal frost. Among the Maasai people in Africa, there is a drink considered sacred. It is a mixture of fresh cow's milk and live blood. The blood is taken from the cow's neck, a vein is pierced, collected in a bowl, then the animal is allowed to heal. The cow is not killed. This drink is seen as the source of strength and long life. Children, elders, and warriors all drink it. First comes the warm, salty blood, then the thick milk. It is ritual, nourishment, and a symbol of life. For visitors, a shock. For them, the norm. It is not savagery, it is culture, ancient, deep, with the smell of earth and the breath of the cow beside you. To refuse is to insult tradition.
Markets in zones of shortage food is simply food. Meat in flatbread, soup without a name, skewers of unknown origin. Sellers smile, but when asked, "What is this?" they just wave a hand. In countries under sanctions or at war, everything is substituted. Lamb becomes cat, rat, even dog. All is marinated, roasted, covered in spices. Tourists are horrified, but locals stopped asking long ago. If it fills the stomach, it is fine. This is not rare, it is reality. It was not the most pleasant episode, but you stayed to the end, so subscribe to the channel 10 Minutes. We keep it short, interesting, and straight to the point. Bye.